noein.info. Today we're going to do the gut series, an extremely interesting subject, so pay attention. First of all, I want to talk about microorganisms. Microorganisms are bacteria that live in communities. Yes, they're living in communities. They're communicating to each other, they're communicating together, and they form a society. Microorganisms, if you count them together as a biomass, they're much more important than all the plants and all the animals together on this planet. And they were here first. That means that they've got an incredible ability to adapt. Even in hostile and harsh environments, they manage to survive. And they've always done, from the beginning of the earth until right now. That means that for us, this adaptation, this changing is a very, very important subject to understand. And science is starting to understand a little bit of it right now. Because we've got about 2 kilos of gut bacteria. And not only gut bacteria, but also in your skin, in your genital tract, in your mouth, everywhere you've got bacteria. And it's not a fight with the bacteria. We're working together. We're a biotope. We've got, as a matter of fact, more bacterial DNA as human DNA. So 1% human DNA, about 20,000 genes, and 2 to 20 million bacterial genes, which we can influence. And this is a key factor for our health and for our well-being. Our gut bacteria, for example, with 2 kilos, they make serotonin, the happy hormone, so to say. And one of the scientific questions is, if you're eating something, if it's you with your brain to decide what you're eating, or maybe the gut bacteria who wanted to have some party out there. Researchers on Alzheimer and depression, they're looking in the gut because they definitely have a huge impact on our behavior. These microorganisms, they help creating our personality. They make up who we are. Now I know that sounds really extreme, but it's the truth. As researchers are finding out bit by bit, because we're just starting to scratch the tip of the iceberg. The microorganisms, they help digest. They help defend us. They're the basis of our immune system. So if something is wrong with the microorganisms, our immune system is suffering. Here we can find answers to the origins, the core of diseases. The microorganisms are living with us together in this body. And as a matter of fact, we've got 2 kilos of microorganisms, and even our DNA is red and is functioning because of other microorganisms that are living in our bodies. Our mitochondria are, as a matter of fact, microorganisms that about 600,000 years ago migrated into another cell and started producing energy, starting being energy motors for the cells of the other being. And we adapted this system in our bodies. So we got microorganisms making our energy in our bodies. We got microorganisms talking to us in our gut and our skin, defending us and helping us to be who we are. The bacteria, they talk to us throughout light photons with adrenaline, norepinephrine, all other substances that have a really important influence on our heads, the gut-brain axis. We might do a special video on that maybe later on. So for us, it's important to understand that our bacteria, they make up our personality. They did incredible researches. It goes over species. They took mice and they put toxoplasmosis in the mice. The mice got sexually excited from cats, so that the mice could be eaten by the cats and that the toxoplasmosis could survive in the gut of the cat where it loves to stay. People who've got an intolerance, mothers who've got an intolerance, will probably have babies, at least the probability is much higher, will have a depression or will have other autoimmune problems later on in their lives. So the gut is an extremely important, extremely interesting subject, which more and more people are starting to check and starting to do research. The microorganisms help you to choose your partner, for example. Yes, I know that sounds crazy, but the gut bacteria helps you to find a nice husband or wife. Now, where do all these bacteria come from? It starts in the womb of the mother. We thought first that it was completely sterile. Well, absolutely not. Already in the womb, and of course during the birth process, if it's a natural birth, bacteria are transmitted. And after that, adaptation, our food, our dog or a cat at home is really, really important. Very probably our gut bacteria are more similar to the plants, the animals, our house and everything that lives around us than to a little bacteria they can buy in the supermarket or in the pharmacy. So we're made up as a microbiome by different influences. That means stress, food, anxiety. They do have an input and it's an exchange. Of course, the bacteria, they make substances that work on our head, but also in the other way around. So we should try to influence our gut bacteria. There's another wonderful fact that I wanted to talk about, that they found out that some bacteria are producing electricity in our gut. Yep, you heard me right. Bacteria in our gut are producing electricity. For example, lactobacillus, a very common bacteria, is producing light or electricity in our gut. And we've got light receptors in our gut. Now, that's a bit difficult, this subject, to touch upon right now, but in future videos, future blogs, we'll talk about it in detail. There's a fundamental thing for you to understand, that the circumstances in your gut make if you're healthy or if you get ill. The presence of bad bacteria doesn't mean that you have to get sick, you have to get ill. It is the expression of the genes throughout epigenetics, that means above genetics, that make us ill or make us healthy. So the circumstances we can change with our lives, with our way of living, our lifestyle, the food that we eat, the sleep that we get. And this is a very important factor. Epigenetics is the medicine of the future. We just start to understand what epigenetics means. We got two types of genes. We got genes that make a brown hair, a blue eyes, and these are dictator genes. There are the kind of genes which give us indications. If you don't pay attention in your life, if you create certain circumstances, you might get ill. So these are intentional genes that change throughout our lifestyle. So a lot of factors that influence our microbiome. And of course, on noein.info or throughout the videos, we'll try to help you manage your life and your microbiome, to be happy and to live from your heart. Thank you.